I want to check in with you. How are you feeling and how are you taking yourself through your daily activities? If you were to be honest with yourself, how do you feel most of the time? This is an extremely important question to ask yourself because the answer is going to give you a wealth of information that is going to either support you to make a change in your life starting today, or that will validate that you are on the right path because whatever you're doing today is helping you to feel good about who you are, who you've become, and who you are going to be in the future. So let's have a very honest conversation today. Let's talk for a little bit about your patterns. What have you noticed about how you conduct yourself throughout the day? What have you seen goes through your mind throughout the day? Are your thoughts primarily focused on the gloom and doom of the world? Or are your thoughts focused on problems and also the possibilities, the goodness that can happen in your life and in your work and in your relationships? The reason why this self-awareness is so important, my friends, is because if you're in the first camp of people who are focused primarily and 90+% of your time is spent focused on the negativity and the gloom and doom around you, which is real for you, which is the only thing that makes sense to you, you're going to have a very different life experience and quality of life than the people that are in the other camp. The people who see that they are problems, people who notice that things aren't perfect because they never are. And at the same time, the people who choose on a daily basis, on a moment by moment basis, to focus also on the things that are going well. And the main difference between those two people is not their intention, is not their upbringing, is not their circumstances, is not their environment. You can have two people that have the exact similar, I should say, situations, because nobody has the identical situation as you do. But you can have two people that are in very similar situations. And one person is doomed, if not in the exterior, in the interior, how you walk around your day. The other person who has the same circumstances is able to see the light at the end of the tunnel because they know that their circumstances do not define who they are, does not define who they become. Listen, I'm not speaking about this because it's some flimsy topic. I'm speaking about this because I see it in my clients. I see it in the people around me. I see it in my relationships with my friends, with family members. And I have noticed that the biggest difference between those two sets of people is their mindset, how they choose to view the world, how they interpret what is happening and their circumstances, how they frame the events in their lives. Not that the one person has a unicorn and rainbows life and the other person has a really hard life. They can have the same circumstances. And it is how they think about what is happening that determines whether they walk through life with doom and gloom and a cloud over their head, or with possibilities and hope and faith. So if you're listening to this video today, there is a message in what I'm saying in this for you. How we do one thing is how we do everything. If you're being negative and if you're bringing gloom and doom to your work, there is a very high likelihood that you're doing the same when you're with your friends, when you are in your relationships, when you're interacting with people in your life. if you are being negative and destructive in your relationships, you better believe that you are having a similar impact at work. How we do one thing is how we do everything. When you look at your life holistically, when you look at the big picture of your life, and you look at your career, your finances, your family, your romantic relationships, you look at your personal growth, your spirituality, you look at your enrollment or involvement in your community. When you look at your life holistically, if you are walking through life from a negative place, from a place of disempowerment, from a place of I have no control over anything, and you feel that you're just basically waiting until life ends, then let me tell you, my friends, you are most likely doing that in every area of your life. Similarly, if you are somebody who can look at a situation and objectively say, these are the things that are going poorly, and these are the things that are going well, then you're likely doing the same thing in other areas of your life. So my challenge to you today, if you're listening to this video, is to take stock. Because the worst thing that I want for you and that I want for myself is to wake up 15, 20 years from now when I'm 70 years old, 80 years old, and regret that I spent my entire life while I had life in me looking at the world from a really crappy place. I don't want you to wake up 20 years from now and realize that you wasted your life so focused on things that you couldn't control that you gave up the things that you could control. And I hope that this video reaches as many people as possible who need to listen to this message. Because when the student is ready, the teacher appears. This is your life. And as your advocate and as an advocate for my clients, I am here to share with you that you have something very special to share with the world. That is the truth, whether you choose to accept it or not. So my question to you is, are you going to spend the rest of your life being a victim of your circumstances, or are you going to take charge and focus and realize what is it that's important to you? What is meaningful? What can you control within the circumstances that you're surrounded, and do something about it? And choose, make a daily decision, create a new habit, and break the old patterns of negativity, and choose to focus on positivity and what's going to get you from point A to point B in the best way possible. Because guess what? The years are going by. We are getting older. Our children are growing up. And we can't control what is happening in society. We can't control what is happening in politics. We can't control what is happening in the economy. But we can control the conversations that we have with our children, the conversations that we have with our partners and our friends and our colleagues and our teammates. We can control that. How I choose to engage in my relationships is on me. That is something that no one can take away from me, and no one can take away from you. So if you find yourself in a really tough place right now, if you find yourself walking through most of your days in doom and gloom, then I just want you to take stock. And I'm inviting you today to make a different choice, to choose what's important, to choose what matters, and to get clear on what you can control, because there is so much that you can't control that currently you're giving away your power by playing potentially the victim. And there's always people around you who care. There's always people around you willing to help. But my friends, as leaders, it always starts with us. We cannot be powerful leaders and empower our teams and enable them to do their best if we're walking around with bags and bags of shit. My advice to you today is to drop the bags is to take stock of your life, what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you're showing up, and how you're feeling. And all the emotions that you feel right now are the direct result of how you are viewing the world, how you are interpreting everything that is happening around you. And I'm going to plead with you to be fair. Be fair. If you're going to pile all the shit that is happening in your life, be fair and create a pile of what is going well in your life, what is good in your life, what you have right now. If you're going to be gloomy and doomy, be factual. Don't be one sided. Don't be biased, because then you become a part of the problem too. That's my message for you today, my friends. This is coming directly as a channeled message. It's something that, for whatever reason, I was asked to share, and I'm doing it with love, with compassion. And I want you to know that if this is you walking around life from a really bad place right now, emotionally, not feeling supported, not feeling like there is light at the end of the tunnel, perhaps this message is for you to let you know that there's always light at the end of the tunnel, but that you need to open your eyes to see that light. It's always an honor. You know where to reach me. I'll see you soon.